Dan, investors seem to like what's going on with DocuSign. Tech stocks might be down, but your stock is up more than 35% in its debut. What's with the excitement? Investors seem pretty jazzed about DocuSign shares.
Yes, they are, and we feel pretty excited about it too. I think it's been a long time coming, but I think it's been worth the wait. If you think about what DocuSign has done, we've really transformed the concept of how people do agreements. Our leadership in e-signature has created an opportunity for people to accelerate the way they do business and for our users to have a much simpler and better experience. And that's why it's so great to work at DocuSign, because when I meet people and customers say to me, "We love DocuSign," it gets us excited about what we're doing.
And Dan, you are the #1 provider of e-signature software, but it's still a new industry. Where specifically are you going to put this money to work? Where is the continued growth that we've seen over the past few years going to come from as you move forward?
We're actually very focused on growth, so I'm glad you bring that up. When we think about our opportunity, even though the TAM that's right in front of us is still 50 times our current revenue of $500 million, we think the total opportunity is much larger. If you look at the opportunity to land new customers, and remember, we serve from the smallest business all the way up to the largest enterprise, and now we have an international footprint as well, with fully 17% of our revenues coming outside of the US, but still another big growth opportunity for continued international expansion. And finally, I don't want to miss, one of the most important opportunities for us for our growth is expanding with our existing customers. Many of our customers only have a few use cases with DocuSign, and we see the opportunity to have hundreds of them. So we see a lot of different vectors for that exciting growth going forward.
And Dan, I want to unpack those a little bit, starting with that last point in terms of building out into your new customers. You talked about in your deal prospectus and on the roadshow that might require increasing your sales spending. Right now, 62% of your expenses go to sales versus R&D and other general expenses. How much more spending is it going to take to convince the C-suite at your customers to expand into more products using DocuSign?
Well, we've had a lot of success to date, as you've seen from the growth that we've put together over the last few years to get us to that $500 million of revenue, and we think you're spot on. It's exactly what we're doing. We are getting to the C-suite and helping them realize that to drive the digital transformations they need to have in their businesses, DocuSign is the key partner to do that. I would tell you going forward, we're going to aggressively continue to invest in sales and marketing because we think we've just penetrated a small part of the opportunity.
And Dan, quickly here, you were you're CEO of a 15-year-old company. This IPO has been a long time coming. I've been tracking this for years, that DocuSign has said that they might go public. What was the top thing for you to know that this company was IPO ready and that right now was the time to actually get out the door?
Well, I think this company has actually been IPO ready for a while, but there were a couple key things we wanted to do to just ensure we had nothing but a fabulously successful start. The first one is we wanted to get to that point of being cash flow positive, which we just did in the last year. There was a second component where we wanted to prove that international opportunity you asked about earlier, and I think getting to 17% of our revenue from outside of the US was an important improvement. And finally, there was a management team that we just wanted to make sure we had totally locked in the right team to take this company forward. And with those three components, we're excited to be here in New York today.